because you have a heart, you have a soul, and you're here to comfort us in this incredible, incredible tragedy.
San Diegans are coming together to stand against hate following Saturday's shooting at Chabad of Poway. 60-year-old Lori Kay was killed. 3 other people, including the rabbi who you just heard speaking, and an 8-year-old girl were wounded in the attack. The suspected gunman may face a hate crime charge in addition to homicide charges.
This morning we are joined by Dr. Saul Lizerbram, president of the Jewish National Fund.
It's an organization that does so much, including building communities in Israel, hospital, parks, planting trees. Welcome. It's so hard to describe what the organization does in one sentence, but you guys do so much for Israel. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. First off, we're very sorry for your loss, Lori, who was involved with the organization for many, many years, since, what, 1990?
Yeah, she's been a long-time supporter of the Jewish National Fund.
How are you guys dealing with all of this? I know she was very, very loved.
Yeah, it's hard. Obviously, I was at the last night at the candlelight vigil, and you know, there was hundreds of people from all walks of life that came together to show their support.
And denounce hate.
And denounce hate. And you know, the interesting thing is about the little girl which you mentioned that was injured.
Yeah.
You know, she grew up in a town just south in the southern portion of Israel.
Near Gaza.
Near Gaza,
yeah.
Exactly, in a town called Sderot, and a mile from Gaza. And over the last decade, they've received 10,000 rockets from Hamas. So her parents said, let's move from Sderot, let's move to San Diego, it's nice and quiet there. And they moved to an area in Claremont Mesa where they had swastikas painted on their door.
That's unfortunate.
So then they said, well, let's go to Poway, it's safe, it's a beautiful community, and then she gets injured by a terrorist.
They're trying to get away from so much damage and destruction, and then this happened in their backyard. Very tough to hear. Talk a little bit about what the Jewish community and others in San Diego can do now to help support our Jewish friends getting through this tough time.
The Jewish National Fund, we call ourselves the caretaker of Israel, and Lori was very involved with the Jewish National Fund for many years. So the Jewish National Fund and myself and my wife Lauren will be planting a forest in her name for a memory. It'll grow and will thrive, just like the community will grow and thrive. So JNF.org is the website, and people can help contribute to this forest.
So Lori played a big role in the congregation, the synagogue. 30+ years ago, she helped reserve like a loan to start this synagogue, and then she was involved with you guys for so many years. I mean, she was very, very loved. How is her husband doing? I know her husband was there as well when the shooting happened. Do you know how he's doing?
The rabbi said last night that, Rabbi Goldstein, that her husband was at his house for dinner last night, and he's, you know, sort of keeping to himself right now with a small group of friends. And, you know, today's the funeral. It's going to be a very difficult day for the community and, you know, for the country.
How can we show that we are standing up against hate, the bigotry that's out there? This has happened before, recently, at places of worship for Jewish people. How can people take a stand?
You stand strong, you be resilient, and you don't retreat. This is when you have to stand strong. And if we back off, they win.
Yeah, in the words of Rabbi Goldstein, terror will not win.
Right, terror will not win. In fact, I mentioned the community where this little girl grew up in Sderot. Despite the fact that they've had 10,000 rockets over the last decade hit them from Gaza, the community is growing.
Yeah.
Because that's the sign, that's their symbol that you can't beat us.
Dr. Lizerbram, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks for your time.